Hello again, I'm Simon, and this week I thought I'd talk about an orienteering technique known as traffic lighting. So first of all, what is traffic lighting? Traffic lighting is the idea of splitting legs down into three different colors to sort of say how fast can I run versus how much attention do I need to pay to the map for this particular bit. So to start with, you got the red light, which is the slow write down. Make sure you're paying attention to basically the map, and you're looking at the map and reading it and going, I'm doing this. And you're not really looking up that much, and you're not running that fast. Still look up because it's good technique to do that. Then you've got the yellow light, which is the I need to be paying attention to a thing, but I don't need to be paying full attention to the map. So if you say coming up to a stepping stone or attack point, I'm looking for the spur, I'm looking for this track junction. You don't want to be running full speed because you might miss it, but you don't want to be slowing right down because that would be a waste. So that's where the yellow light comes in. And the green light means that I don't really need to pay attention to my map at all. So for the green light, you can either run super fast, usually along something like a linear feature like a track or a fence, or just through some forest on a bearing. Or you can also use it to plan ahead. So the green light means you don't have to pay attention to the map and what you're doing immediately. So then that would be a good time to plan ahead and look at, say, how you're leaving the control or how you're going to get to the next one. So that's what the green light section means. So I'm going to also take a look at some of the examples. We'll start with a bit of an unusual one, which is the start, because of course you can't have planned ahead or anything, and so we'll just show you. So here we go. I'll move across so I'm not covering it. Start to one, as you see, I've split it up into red, yellow, and red, which is a little bit weird. But the reason I've done that is that when you're leaving the start triangle, first of all, there's that little bit of time you've spent. You picked up your map and you're like, first of all, where am I on the map? Where's the start triangle? Where's number one? That kind of thing. And then once you figure that out, you want to know exactly what you're doing and that kind of thing. But you slow right down when you're doing that. If you have a tape from where you get the maps to the start triangle, that's where you'd use that red light technique where you're sort of slow, almost walking as you're figuring out what you're doing for the rest, for that leg and potentially the next one. Then I've got two yellows here for different reasons. So this first yellow, this one. The reason that's yellow is there's a track junction there, and I'm trying to make sure I hit that track junction, see it, and make sure I take the right track off to the right. And that's why that's there. So I'm slowing down a little bit. I'm still running pretty fast, but I'm just keeping it in the back of my head, or actually in the front of my mind, that I need to make sure I take the right junction. I'm expecting a track junction here. This next bit is only really yellow because it's super short. And I'm looking for my attack point, which is the spur here. And so that's just me coming up to that and knowing I need to look out for the spur. Once I've seen the spur here, I move into my red zone, my red light area, and I'm slowing right down to make sure I come from my attack point to my control. So that's the basics of that. And so the reason I showed you this is just that to get used to the fact that the red light area just after the start is normal, and you slow right down to make sure you know what you're doing. Don't just run off, because that's how you make really easy mistakes. Next leg I'm going to talk about is leg 7 to 8. And again, I've been doing this on the red long course. That was the senior boys course, but there's a variety of legs and they make some pretty good demonstrations. So first of all, 7 to 8, assuming I've planned how I'm leaving 7. I've got this big green area here because all I'm doing is following a track. I'm not having to worry about very much, I just have to stay on the track. So that's why that gets a green. And this would be a perfect example of when I'd use this sort of green area rather than to run super fast, just to plan ahead and think about how am I leaving the control, what am I doing on the next leg. Then you move into this yellow area. So I'm thinking about what's my attack point. In this case, it'll be the spur. So I've been running along the track, and I'm starting to get towards the spur, and I'm going, okay, what do I do from there? I'll just double check my plan. Okay, my plan is to come out the spur, right off the track and up the spur, and I'll come into my control. So that's a yellow area there. I've hit the spur on the track, and I've turned right and going up the hill. Then you've got that red light area, so once I've done that, I've actually slowed down a little bit further to make sure I hit the right spur, and I know that I'm not going to overshoot too far up or go too low, that kind of thing, so I've slowed right down to this red area. And that's the essence of that. This is sort of an orangey leg rather than a red leg, but it gets the idea. Next I'm going to move to my control 12 to 13, and that's more of a yellow leg actually, as you'll see. And I've overshot. So there's a couple of colours here. And there's a map fold because A3 map and it scans that way. So first thing is 12 to 13. The blue line's my route choice. Well, it's just off the side of the track. Just so I don't cover anything useful. But I'm going to come out of 12, round this track, round through here, hit a track junction that I folded off the map here. So I think I have. I'll hit a track junction, come onto this track, down here, and then from there into that track junction, off there and down into this control. So the first bit of the control is green because I'm just following this track, right? I'm coming out of 12, I'm running down this track along here, along here, along here. I don't have to think about that much. And this might be a case where I'm actually just running as fast as I can because it's an easy leg and I've seen the next leg and it's easy as well. Then you hit this yellow circle here, and all I'm thinking about is trying to hit this track junction, because if I miss that, I have to go miles out of my way. Again, I think there's one here, which is why I go that way. Actually, whoops. There is no track junction there, so you do it that way. So I've got this yellow circle here, coming along. Oh, actually changes lots of things. So the yellow circle is actually here. So this whole area is green, coming along. I can ignore this track junction, because I'm not going to take that one because it's too long. Coming down here, looking for this track junction with the clearing here. Once I get towards that, it's the yellow circle. Slow down. Make sure I know what I'm doing. So I'm leaving down the hill along the main track here. And I get a brief section of green again between the two. Before I have to hit this next track junction. Nice yellow, and then it's almost straight into red once I've turned off. So I turn off, and then, because it's basically on top of the circle, I move into red, which means slow right down, make sure you know what you're doing. So in this case, I've hit this track junction. I've taken a right-hand turn. I'll look left to you, but I'll take a right-hand turn. I'm going along this other track, and immediately I have to think, when am I leaving the track? And so that's why I'd slow right down into this red circle, red light area. So that's the basics of traffic lighting. And remembering, just to recap, you split your legs down into 3 colors, depending on how much you need to focus on it. Red is I need to focus right on the map a lot right now, and you use it basically in the control circle, or just heading into the control circle between your attack point and the control. Then you've got yellow, which is I'm focusing on a feature, so a stepping stone or attack point. I'm coming up to that and I want to make sure I don't miss it. So what am I doing from there? And then just slowing down a bit and looking up and around to make sure I don't miss my feature. And then green means I don't need to focus on the map right now. So I could either use that opportunity to plan ahead for the next leg or just run super fast, depending on how much more legs there are and whether I've already planned. So that's it for this week. I'll get another one out next week. And if you want me to do a video on a particular technique, or anything you have trouble with, let me know through either comments or Facebook. And I'll try and do a video on that. But till then, bye.